Welcome everyone. I'm glad you found this new channel. I think this video is really going to help you improve your English. You can pretend for about 10 minutes that you are an actual student in an American classroom because I just delivered this lesson to my students. So I just read an article to them, but you will have that article on the screen. You can listen to me read it. You can follow along. I don't see how after 10 minutes your English isn't going to be really improved. Just take 10 minutes, listen to me, watch me, and your English will improve. Wait a second. You don't want to read on your own? You'd rather me read to you? That's fine. That's fine. Today, what I want to do is read an article to you about how some 16-year-olds are getting the vaccine in Canada. Now that's, if you remember, we spoke about this in CNN 10 in the United States. There's actually one state that I know of, Louisiana, that is allowing 16-year-olds to get the vaccine. Most states, that's not the case. But I want to be clear, if you get vaccinated or if you don't, that's totally up to your family. It's a decision you and your family will have to make. At this point, it's a moot point. It's a moot point. If you've ever watched Friends, Joey might say it's a moo point. But it's a moot point right now, M-O-O-T, because if you're under 16, you're not even allowed to get the vaccine anywhere in the United States, but anywhere in the world, I think, according to the article, just because trials haven't been done yet. But let's get into the article and we'll take a look. Again, this comes from Canada, so a lot of the statistics that we will be reading are Canada, not the United States. CBC Kids News, that stands for Canadian Broadcasting Company, I think. These 16-year-olds got the COVID, excuse me, vaccine. There's no way I'm going to say the name of this town, but I'll try. Rachel Mendoza, 16, from Mississauga, Ontario, received her COVID vaccination on March 6th. So far, only teens 16 and over can get the shot. A handful of teens are among the first Canadians to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Rachel Mendoza, 16, is one of Canada's youngest people to get the shot. She's an essential worker because she works part-time as a pharmacy assistant at Shoppers Drug Mart in Mississauga, Ontario. It's very important for me to do this, she said. She received her first dose of Pfizer BioNTech shot on March 6th. So in this country, we do have the Pfizer vaccine. Yes, that's the one I got. That's the one I got. Pfizer. We have the Johnson & Johnson. I think we talked about that. We have the Johnson & Johnson one, and we also have the Moderna. So Johnson & Johnson, one shot, you're done. 14 days after that, you're fully vaccinated. Because I got the Pfizer on, I think, March, I can't remember. I go back from my next one on April 7th. So 2 weeks after that, I will be fully vaccinated. So you're not fully vaccinated until that second shot. So that's why some people want the Johnson & Johnson instead. Apparently, it's not quite as effective as keeping you from getting sick at all, but it's just as effective from keeping you from getting really sick or hospitalized or worse. So back to the article. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. Rachel lives with her parents who are immunocompromised. Whoa, big word. But guess what? You don't have to look it up because the article, this is important. The article will often tell you the meaning of the big word. So just keep reading. That means their immune systems are weak, making it harder to fight off infection and disease. Rachel was excited to get the vaccine because it will help keep her parents safe. Now this is, you can see there's quotes right there. This is Rachel talking. I think everybody should go get the vaccine, go get vaccinated if they're able to, because they can keep their friends and family safe, she said. Just be aware, that's her opinion. Okay. That's her opinion. That is not a fact. Again, it's up to you and your parents. If the time comes for you to get vaccinated, are you going to, or are you going to sit this one out? But Rachel, and of course, her parents do have complications when it comes to their immune system, keeping them healthy. So she probably, wants to do the best she can to keep her family safe. Rachel works part-time at Shoppers Drug Mart, filling prescriptions. I'm surprised they let a 16-year-old do that. If you give the wrong prescription to somebody, that could have some bad consequences. Rachel, they probably don't let her, she must, I don't know how that works. Rachel, be careful, man. Don't give people the wrong prescription. About 3.8 million COVID vaccines have been administered in Canada so far. And I believe we read, right? Didn't we read 40 million have been given out in the United States? Another 36.4 million vaccines are expected to arrive before the end of June, according to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. So if anybody ever asks you, who, I can't do, I used to be able to copy. There we go. Highlight and copy. If anybody ever asks you, who's the Prime Minister of Canada, you can say Justin Trudeau. All Canadians will be able to receive both doses of the COVID vaccination by September. Right now, the vaccination isn't available for kids under 16. This is Paramount Fine Foods in Mississauga, is where Rachel received her COVID-19 vaccination. So she works at a different place, but she got it there. It looks like maybe a pharmacy of some sort. In the beginning, clinical trials focused on adults. Now, vaccine manufacturers have begun trials studying the effects of the vaccine on kids 12 and older. Without proper testing through clinical trials, the vaccine cannot be recommended for a younger age group. And if you think about it, that makes sense because, by and large, people who were dying from COVID were not young people. They were older people. In fact, usually, much older. So that was the focus for the vaccine, is how would it work on older people, get them the vaccine, try to save some lives. So now that, the vaccine is working in Maine, it's still 70 and older. So hopefully that will come down if more vaccines come into the state. But as more vaccines come into the state, maybe it will open up to people under 16 if their families say, yeah, that's a good idea. Another reason kids aren't being given the vaccine yet is because, according to immunology experts, so those are people who study the immune system, immunology experts, kids often show stronger immune reactions to vaccines than grown-ups. Other teens in Canada have also been vaccinated. Bronwyn O'Hearn, 16, of Halifax, is also an essential worker. Bronwyn O'Hearn's fear of needles didn't stop her from getting vaccinated in Halifax. Halifax is not all that far from Maine. She stayed socially distant from her friends this year to continue working at a Halifax nursing home as a long-term care worker. Bronwyn works in the kitchen at St. Vincent's nursing home. I serve food. I talk to residents, I set up their plates. I really like my job here, she told CBC News. It's very relaxed, but, I also get to have some fun with the residents. Bronwyn got her first dose of the COVID vaccine in February and received her second shot last week. Rachel is booked to get her. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I was a little confused. They were talking about Bronwyn, and now they're talking about Rachel. Rachel is booked to get her second dose of the vaccine in April. She said getting vaccinated was a good experience. It was completely painless. They took very good care of me. All right, I wouldn't say that it was completely painless for me, The next day, my arm hurt quite a bit, but the actual shot, I didn't even really feel it. So in that respect, it was painless. But after the next day, my wife too, both of us had really sore arms. But hey, it's better than getting a high fever from COVID, right? All right. Hope this helped. See ya.